All right, so this is a little video I'm going to shoot for you on push-up progression. Again, your program is going to be set up to make sure that you are doing some mobility work, that you're activating the appropriate muscles to make sure that you're performing these exercises safely and efficiently and effectively. So I'm just doing you a little demo, okay, on the actual push-up exercise. I'm going to show you how to start because, again, not everybody is able to perform a proper push-up. You would be surprised. Lots of cheaters out there. Anyways, so if you can't do one, again, that's what this program is about. We're going to build that strength and we're going to isolate some muscles and we're going to be able to rock out some push-ups. For people who can do push-ups, there's never ever going to be a place where it's easy. It will always get harder, okay? So again, that's what this program is all about. So I'm going to show you a place to start and I'm going to show you some places to go to, all right? So bear with me for a minute here. Setting you guys up. Hopefully we can see everything. This is the joy of not having a cameraman. Is trying to make it all work. All right, hopefully that is gonna do it. Okay. Hi. Okay, so I'm gonna talk fairly loudly, so hopefully I'm not yelling at you because I don't really know the audio aspect of this yet. Okay, so push up. So beginners, this is about full range of motion when it comes to doing a push-up. This isn't about just doing a push-up on the top end. This is about building the strength to do the whole thing. So if that means you're starting on your knees, that's where you're starting, okay? If you can't get through the full range of motion, that doesn't mean you're gonna quit. That means that you're gonna hold that position for as long as you can until you can't anymore. And that's how we're gonna build your strength, okay? There's other exercises and movements that we're going to be doing throughout the 5 weeks to help to increase that strength and encourage the push-up to happen anyways. So here's your starting point, all right? I want a nice flat back. I don't want to see any of this stuff because now you're not isolating your chest, all right? So here, you want to make sure that you're stacked. You want to make sure that those hands, elbows, and shoulders are all stacked on top of one another. You want to make sure that those hips are nice and flat. You've got some mobility in your knees, okay? Open those hands up. Your hands should be positioned just outside of your shoulders. Don't go too wide because that puts a lot of strain on your shoulder. Don't go too narrow because now we're starting to isolate tricep, okay? So, hands are directly just outside of shoulder, but pretty much right underneath them. Fingertips are nice and spread, okay? Back is nice and flat, okay? We're activating our core. Hands over elbow, elbow underneath shoulder, and here we go. Dropping down, elbows directed slightly back, all the way down to the mat, and coming up, okay? I'll do it again. Down and coming up. All right, so for those of you who are struggling just to get started with that, that's where you're going to really focus on the no hand push-up, all right? And this is what this looks like. So same positioning, nice and flat. You're coming down using all the strength that you can, and you can take your hands off. Now you're pushing and activating back up. So again, coming down, hands off, pushing, coming back up, okay? With some time, some consistency, you're gonna be able to get into the first modification of full range of motion, all right? I'm gonna come and reposition the camera because I see it's a little bit off so that I can move you up to the next progression. Just means I gotta move you guys a little farther away, that's all. So it just means I gotta yell more. Okay. Stay. Okay. Here we go. So next progression. This is when you're coming up on, okay, let's back this up, back up the bus a little bit here. Once you can perform on your knees, once you can perform at least 5 or 6 good, solid, clean push-ups, that's when you're gonna come up to your toes. And again, you're starting from square one. If you can only get away with one, that's where you're going. You're gonna consistently build on that strength. So don't panic, don't get down on yourself, because you know what? It takes time. You can't just come in and be good at something if you're not actually utilizing and isolating that muscle. So be patient with yourself, okay? So again, making sure that you're stacked. Fingers are nice and open, just outside of shoulders. Up on those toes in a nice flat plank. I don't want to see any of this stuff. Nice flat plank. Coming down and up. Okay? Same thing, all the way down and all the way up. I want to see that nose touch the mat. Okay? So your progression after that is going up onto an elevated platform. That's when you're bringing your feet up onto an elevation. Step, bench, whatever you got. You can start with a lower elevation if you need to try and isolate, and then work yourself up to a higher elevation, because that's how you build your strength. Again, when you're on your toes in this position, you can move up to an elevation. You can also get into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So you're holding at the bottom of that push-up. You can also add some weight. You can wear a weighted vest. You can put a plate on your back. I wouldn't go too heavy, go 5, 10 pounds max. And as soon as you get to that 5, 6 rep range, that's when you're gonna make it a little bit more harder, all right? So you can eventually get to a weighted vest, an elevation, a weight on your back, and go through and do those, and you're still gonna continuously overload that muscle. Again, always going to about a 5 or 6. When you can get to that with clean, beautiful, crisp form, that's when you're gonna make it a little harder, all right?